Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley from MatthewMaley.com. Friday night, we are back on the couch, and it's time for another weekly movie review with yours truly. This week, I got a movie by one of my favorite directors. Well, he's made a couple movies that take a little bit away from that, but for the most part, I'm a big fan of his. And when I heard about this movie, and when I heard the direction it was going, I was very intrigued because it's so off his normal beaten path. I'm speaking of a movie called Red State. It is directed by Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith of Jay and Silent Bob fame, of Dogma fame, Mallrats fame. Big fan of his. Granted, he did make some crap movies. Jersey Girl, I'm Looking at You. Zack and Miri Make a Porno, outside of like a couple scenes, and Craig Robinson, I'm Looking at You. So he's definitely had some great movies, and he's definitely had some movies. One of my all-time favorites is Dogma. Same thing with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. That is truly one of the funniest movies, in my opinion, of all time. Just the back and forth, which really is kind of one-sided, considering the fact that Silent Bob is silent, of Jay and Silent Bob is hilarious to me. So when I found out that he was doing a non-comedy surrounding a cult sect of Christianity and murders and torture and kind of a horror film, I was impressed. I will say, first off, it's not a horror film. Yes, there's some gratuitous violence, but it is not a horror film. I have a couple people that before it hit me up said, oh, I saw this horror film, Red State. It's not a horror film. Hostel is a horror film. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those are horror films. This is simply a bloody suspense type of movie. Basic overview of it is you meet a teenager who, along with his two friends, just standard teenagers, are going to go and hook up with this lady. I'll spare you some of the graphic details, but she's going to perform on all three of them at the same time, apparently, and this is their, big chance to get some action. Now, this all takes place in some small backwoods town, and from the very beginning, we hear of this 5 Points church that is protesting gays' funerals, is very, very against all homosexuality, anything that's sinful. So one thing that's kind of cool, just a quick aside, is I'm a huge fan of Breaking Bad. I don't know if you guys are. If you're not, become one. And it's kind of cool. There's actually two characters from Breaking Bad in this. One has literally 3 lines. She plays one of the teenagers' fathers, who is the wife in Breaking Bad, and the other one is a character from Breaking Bad who was Badger, which is one of Jesse Pinkman's friends. He also is in this movie as one of the deputies. So it's kind of cool. Those are really the two faces I knew. Also, John Goodman has a good part in it, coming from about halfway the movie on. Michael Parks plays the maniacal, crazy leader, and then Stephen Root also has a little part in there. And I like Stephen Root. He doesn't have much of a part, but he's got a little part in there. And has some nuances to his character as well. But essentially, the story goes as this. The 3 kids end up getting kidnapped by this right-wing, crazy, Christian sect who perform ritual killings of gays, of drug users, of people that aren't living their lives by the order of Christ. Which is funny that they're fine committing sins to sinners, but, that's just another element of some religion that I never really got, but whatever. Obviously, this isn't regular religion. This is far, far, far fanatical levels. But it then really just follows the attempt of escape by these boys who then get caught in the middle of a Waco-style, not ambush, but breach and enter by the ATF, which is where John Goodman comes into character. He is one of the leaders of the ATF task force. And it is crazy. I will say this movie it's one of those movies where some movies, there's a start, there's a middle, there's an ending, everything ties together, you feel happy inside. And then there's sometimes you get a movie where nothing really correlates with anything, and then it ends, and you're just like, whoa, in my best Keanu Reeves voice, whoa. This was one of those, where you had character development, but it almost wasn't even for that much of a purpose in a way, if that makes sense. Like, you got to know these characters, but that didn't really eventuate to anything. Okay, yeah, you learn them. Okay, yeah, you see what they're about. But at the end of the day, it still got the same reaction. The ending didn't really tie things together as much as those. Let's put it this way. Sorry, I know I'm kind of rambling here, but it was almost like this was simply a story being told from no character's perspective. As opposed to most movies follow a specific character through the story. This was more of like a story that was the core of the movie that you simply watched through the different characters, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Because that's exactly what it was. Rather than a movie that is specifically for these characters, and you're watching it through the star and the co-star, this was more of the actual story was the star. And everybody else just added to it. So overall, I thought it was a cool movie. I liked it. I think I liked it even more because it was a Kevin Smith movie. Also, they didn't skimp on the violence. A lot of times with bigger directors, when they foray into a new genre, they will kind of sissify it, if you will. And this definitely wasn't. There's some hardcore action, some hardcore gun battles, some crazy deaths. Like, it's pretty on point. It's pretty violent. Overall, I give it 4 stars. Definitely, and again, my 4 stars means it was a good movie. It's one of those I probably won't buy. Actually, no, I won't buy it. I don't feel it has much rewatchability, in my opinion. But I thought it was well done. I thought everybody did a good performance. Specifically, Michael Parks as the cult leader. As well as there's a few people within the cult who put some great performances as well. Just as crazy, possessed almost, living and holding on to every single word that this psychopath says. So that was those are some really good performances. But overall, you did get kind of a feeling of what was the point when the movie ended. It was a very well done movie. I did like the movie a lot, but you really did get kind of a, okay, and then feeling about it. And I don't know if that's maybe because of how they filmed it from the story's perspective instead of from a character's perspective as much, but definitely was a little bit of a, all right, that was cool, but, like, what's next? What did it accomplish? What did it, So overall, I did like it. I would recommend seeing it. Definitely go Redbox it, Blockbuster it. If you have Cox Cable, they actually were running it on demand. I don't know if they still are. They were running it on demand before it even was released. Apparently, this movie didn't really get much theater release. It was more just a straight to DVD. But shout out to Kevin Smith. It was a tight movie. Another one of his that I can say I liked. Definitely different than his usual stuff. But overall, very good. So, hope you guys like it. Let me know if you checked it out. If you do like it, let me know if you like Kevin Smith or hate him. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I think he's funny. So let me know what you guys think. So once again, Matthew Maley from MatthewMaley.com reviewed Red State by Kevin Smith and give it 4 stars. So I'd say check it out. Don't buy it, in my opinion. But definitely check it out. Will say there's a lot of heavy violence, a lot of heavy explicit language, whatever. If you got, it's definitely earns its rated R, or its R rating. I'll say that, definitely does. So keep that in mind. But once again, it's not a horror film. It's not a horror film or a scary film. It's a thriller. It is a suspenseful, violent thriller. So there you go. Once again, thank you very much for checking out my videos. Much appreciated. Would love it if you're up on YouTube, if you could like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Of course, follow your boy up on Twitter at Matthew Maley. As always, like my Matthew Maley Poker page on Facebook. Of course, MatthewMaley.com. As well, want to give a shout out to all the veterans. Today is Veterans Day, and just a big shout out to everybody. Everybody knows I'm a big supporter of all our soldiers. I've got some very close family and friends who have served or are currently serving. So I pray that this war ends soon. We can get everybody back here safe. And while I have never, by any stretch of the imagination, supported this war, I will 1,000% unquestionably always support our soldiers. So big shout out to all the soldiers, both past and present and future. And thank you for what you do. Because honestly, a lot of us couldn't do it. And I don't know if I could or not. So thank you for keeping it from me having to make that choice or figure out if I could. So once again, thanks for checking out my videos, everybody. Hope y'all have a great weekend, and let me know if you go check out the flick. Let me know what you think of it. Till the next video, peace out, y'all.